Well, the UK and Europe quite clearly now facing a rising tide of anti-Semitism and I believe left-wing extremism that is in some part being ignored. But of course, following the horrific attack in Manchester, once again we've seen it be confirmed by the authorities that they believe this may have been influenced by extreme Islamist ideology. Just to be clear, because some downplay this threat, the fact is, yes, there is extreme far-right threat. MI5 saying 25% of their work remains that, but 75% of MI5's work is Islamist extremism. That is what MI5 say officially. And I think, frankly, what Jewish people in this country and around Europe have had to put up with in recent years is absolutely sickening. We've quite clearly seen anti-Semitism absolutely surging. But I believe we've also seen left-wing extremism on the rise, going virtually unchallenged. We saw on the very day of that horrific attack in Manchester, we saw what was described as a violent protest outside number 10. And the police saying that it was a protest organised by the Global Movement for Gaza UK confirmed 40 arrests, including 6 for assaults on police officers. We also saw in Edinburgh what were described as pro-Palestinian protesters. Interesting that it's never far left or hard left with the media, with these people. They broke through police barriers. But of course we've seen successive governments now allowing regular hate marches in London. Quite why this has been allowed to go on, I don't know. It's pure weakness from the authorities. And again, on the very day of that horrific attack in Manchester, we saw more disgusting scenes in London. Now, the police are saying after the terrorist attack, after that horrific attack, they're now having to plan for a gathering of more than 1,000 people in Trafalgar Square today in support of a terrorist organisation. And surprise, surprise, Labour, just like the Conservatives, talk about how much they disagree with this, but aren't actually going to take any action, it seems. We don't have to live like this. We don't have to go on like this. France banned pro-Palestinian protests. They enforced it with tear gas. They enforced it with water cannons. The government was absolutely clear that it was likely to generate disturbances to the public order and that their priority was to protect French Jews, and said any foreigner committing acts of anti-Semitism would be immediately expelled. But be under no illusions, the scale of anti-Semitism that is rising across Europe right now, as well as in the UK, is truly disturbing. Just consider this, that in Italy, a recent poll, and I guess this is people that are willing to openly admit it, 15% of Italians now consider physical attacks on Jewish people to be entirely or fairly justifiable. 18% believe anti-Semitic graffiti is legitimate. That's according to a major Italian poll. You've also seen in Germany anti-Semitism absolutely surging. You've seen a police chief in Berlin warning Jewish people about going into certain neighbourhoods. And you've even seen the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz confirm that a lot of this is because they have a sort of imported anti-Semitism with the big numbers of migrants they have within the last 10 years, and they're looking to resolve this problem. So this is a very dangerous situation. It requires politicians who don't just talk, but take action. And I thought this statement from Nigel Farage was bang on.
The scenes of Jewish people being butchered on the streets of Manchester yesterday, I think, have shocked many of us deeply, deeply to the core. And I want to extend, on behalf of myself and our party, our absolutely most sincere condolences to all of those affected. But it's worse than that. It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. I think the whole Jewish community in Britain are now deeply fearful. Within just a few hours of this horrific incident, we saw in London, Glasgow and elsewhere pro-Palestinian flags on the streets, people out, previously unplanned, demonstrating. But here's the truth of it. They weren't demonstrating. They were actually celebrating. I can't even imagine we've ever seen such vile scenes on our streets, certainly not in my lifetime. In response to this, the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, says she's disappointed. Disappointed. That's the most the Home Secretary can say. Well, I hope all of you watching this video are outraged. Outraged and frankly frightened. This is broken Britain. This is evidence of societal breakdown. It is deeply worrying and very frightening. Will this Prime Minister do anything about it? No, in fact, he's emboldened these people by his recognition of Palestine 2 weeks ago. And never forget, this is the Prime Minister that took the knee just a few short years ago to an extremist group. Now, there is a big march planned in London this Saturday. And I think the only way we can describe it is a hate march. Whether the Home Secretary and the police decide they've got the powers to stop it, I don't know. What is for certain is we're a country that allows peaceful protest, but we're not a country that allows the celebration of murder or slogans in our street that are deeply insightful. I must admit, saying this now to you today, I feel more worried about the state of broken Britain than I ever have before.